morning, everyone. Welcome to today's market outlook. Edmund here. So, before we have a look and see what happened to the US dollar and also gold prices during Jerome Powell's speech yesterday night, let us have a quick look and see what is coming up for today's economic calendar. So, today's economic calendar is a balance between a couple of economic data coming out from Europe today, followed by another set of economic data coming out from the US tonight. And the balance will tip towards the US markets tonight, where there will be more economic events and we will be likely having more volatility towards the US market trading session for tonight. Okay, so we're going to start off today's economic events calendar with the German consumer climate data. This news will be released at 2 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. And towards 2:45 p.m., we will be having the French preliminary quarterly GDP data. And then we will be moving on to the US set of data coming out from the US markets tonight. First of all, we will be having the core PCE price index numbers and also goods trade balance data to be released at 8:30 p.m. and to be followed up by the Chicago PMI numbers at 9:45 p.m. To end the economic set of data coming out from the US tonight, we will be having the consumer sentiment and also inflation expectations reports at 10 p.m. At 9:05 p.m. tonight, Bank of England Governor Mr. Andrew Bailey is scheduled to be speaking, and we could be expecting the UK pound to have some movements and volatility as early as 2 to 4 p.m. today. And leading up to the 9:05 p.m. Speech, we could also see another set of movements and chart patterns on the UK pound from 7 p.m. onwards. Okay, so again, although today is a Friday, the final day of the week, we could still be seeing some volatility on the UK pound and also on the euro dollar for today. Okay. So over the last 24 hours, the US dollar was trading in a very volatile fashion. It was whipsawing down and up during Mr. Jerome Powell's speech at 9 p.m. yesterday. And the main takeaway from Mr. Jerome Powell's speech was that the Federal Reserve are looking to roll out aggressive strategies to increase or improve the employment or labor situation in the US and also to improve economic growth. Okay, and of course, they are looking to push up inflation or allow inflation to go past the 2% targets. So to do this, to increase inflations, they would need to increase consumer spending, and for consumers to improve their spending, they will need to put more liquidity into the markets and into the hands of the consumers. So one of the ways to do that is, of course, to maintain interest rates at a low levels. Possibly it will be the era of low interest rates will hang on for about maybe 2 years or 3 years or longer. So in other words, the statement by Federal Reserve Chairman Mr. Jerome Powell indicates that the interest rates in the US and also probably globally will remain low for a longer period of time. Okay, so when interest rates are low, generally it will affect the demand for the US dollar, as most people will not want to be holding putting money in the US banks and so on as the interest rates are low. So theoretically, the US dollar should weaken. So for yesterday, we do see that number one, the US dollar was mostly trading in a range. Okay, just remove this. Okay, for yesterday, the US dollar was mostly trading in a range after being bullish for the previous 2 days on Tuesday and Wednesday. The US dollar was moving up from this support levels over here. Okay, so the US dollar was bullish, and moving towards yesterday's event, Mr. Jerome Powell's speech at 9:10 p.m. local Singapore time. We do see the US dollar initially moving down in the Asian trading session, and then after going up, leading up towards the beginning of the UK trading session, and at about 11 plus 5, 16, 4 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, the US dollar weakens back, and only at about 7 p.m. as the US markets are about to begin, we do see the US dollar finding support, gaining some strength, And then as Mr. Jerome Powell was speaking, the US dollar actually moved back up, spiked back up to quite a high levels. Okay, sorry, over here. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was the UK pound. Okay, so for the US dollar index, it was basically trading in the range as it has been since Tuesday and Wednesday. And for yesterday, leading up to Mr. Jerome Powell's speech at 9:10 p.m., the US dollar was moving up marginally during the Asian trading cycle. And then after went quiet and it started to move up again during the UK trading cycle. And just as about Mr. Jerome Powell is about to speak, we do see the US dollar weakening. And I believe that upon his comments that the Federal Reserve is looking to improve inflation by keeping interest rates low, we do see the US dollar spiking down. Okay, we do see the US dollar spiking down from here at about 93.03 levels all the way to a low of 92.39 levels before having a quick rebound, tested the resistance levels again over here and then going quiet. Okay, so again, the main takeaway was that the US wants to maintain interest rates at a lower levels for an extended period of time, and theoretically this will weaken the US dollar. But you have to bear in mind also that the US dollar has been weakening for a period of time since 23rd of March all the way until the current levels of 92.81. So all the way from a high of 103 levels over here, 103.56, it has weakened a large extent. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that markets has more or less largely factored in the expected low interest rates for an extended period of time. So gotta be careful. Although general direction is still bearish for the US dollar, there could be moments that the US dollar may rebound or go into a consolidation phase, even during a long-term bearish downtrend. Okay, so we have these events happening yesterday, and for the UK pound, as we were looking at it just now, the UK pound has been strengthening, and also for during yesterday's events, it was mostly trading sideways leading up to the 9 p.m. Announcement by Federal Reserve Chairman. And as the US dollar was weakening upon his speech, we do see the UK pound spiking up from 1.3180 all the way to a high of 1.3284, moving up about 100 pips before closing. Okay, the keyword here is before closing the hour candle below the resistance levels. Okay, so it came back down to a low of came back down from this high, came back down to a low of 1.3159. So it came back down 120 pips before going sideways again. Okay, so for the last 3 hours or so during Friday, during today's Asian trading session, the US dollar is weakening, and we do see the UK pound strengthening from 1.3184 all the way to the current levels of 1.3243. Okay, so this morning it is moving up about 58 pips already. Yeah, so currently the US dollar is testing this support, so we could see for this morning's move, this could be the range for the moment in terms of the UK pound moving up. Okay, so yeah, so this one could be the range for the moment. And yeah, to the high side, if it does push up a little bit more, we could be seeing a target price of 1.3251, which is just about 6 pips away from now, from the current price. And the higher levels would be at 1.3283, which is about 40 pips to the upside. Okay, this is assuming that the US dollar continues to weaken from now, and the UK pound continues to strengthen from the current prices. Okay, so vice versa, if the US dollar does manage to find support here and go into a marginal rebound back up, we could see the UK pound pushing back down again. First of all, to test 1.3212 levels, which is about 30 pips to the downside. And further down, we could look at it to test these levels again, 1.3180, which is about 60 pips to the downside. Okay, for the euro dollar, similar story, as the US dollar has been weakening for the last 3 hours as we are speaking. We do see the euro dollar strengthening from 1.1816 all the way to a high of 1.1855 at the moment, going up 38 pips. So the next levels further up for the euro dollar, number one would be 1.1875, which is about 25 pips to the upside. And the next target price would actually be 1.1900, which is about 48 pips to the upside. Okay. So yeah, so that'll be the range for the euro dollar for today. Yeah, looks like US dollar is weakening, and the UK pound and also the euro dollar moving up. Okay. So if it does come down, the first target price is actually 1.1815, which is about 40 pips to the downside. And further down below, a stronger support would be at 1.1785 levels, which is about 70 pips to the downside. But again, currently we see the US dollar weakening, UK pound and euro strengthening, and also gold prices starting to move back up. Okay, so that is the updates for the US dollar, UK pound, and also for the euro dollar. As for gold prices again was mostly consolidating, and it rebounded back up on Wednesday. And for Tuesday, it did pull down initially during the Asian and also the UK trading sessions. At the point of Mr. Jerome Powell's speech, it actually spiked up to a high of 1,976, going up about 45 US dollars before pushing back down to test the support levels here again of 1,910 US dollars. And then after having a decent recovery, back up to 1,935 levels. And as of this morning, for the last 3 hours or so, the gold prices have been moving up from 1,922 to the current levels of 1,940. Okay, so it's gone up about 18 US dollars. So yeah, so this will be the current target price, 1,940. If it does move up a bit more, we could be looking at another price of 1,953, which was the previous resistance levels over here. Okay, 1,953. So at 1,953, we are like 13 US dollars to the upside. And if this does pull back, we are looking at support levels of 1,929, which is about 10 US dollars to the downside. This will be the immediate short-term support resistances. And further, a stronger support will be at 1,910 levels, which is about $30 to the downside. Okay, so silver, yeah, pretty much the same movements. Oil prices yesterday was mostly going down after a very quiet Asian and UK trading session. It started to move down at about 4 p.m. all the way to a low of $42.44. Had a decent recovery, and currently yeah, it's still a bit quiet, but looks like it could be potentially pushing up again. Okay, so yeah, so this was the top we saw of oil prices on the 26th of August, and we mentioned that usually this will represent the first top. This is the second top, and true enough, it actually retraced back about $1.13 after having a double top and having some resistance. Okay, so let's move on to the S&P 500. S&P 500 is still largely on a bullish sentiment, and we can see that especially after yesterday night's announcement by Mr. Jerome Powell, where they are looking to keep the interest rates low, improve liquidity in the markets. This again provided a boost to equity prices, and the S&P 500 moved up conclusively yesterday. Over here you can see throughout the whole morning and afternoon Asian and UK trading sessions, activity and movements was very light as they are waiting for Mr. Jerome Powell's comments and also the direction of the Federal Reserve. Okay, so here we go, 1600 plus 521. This is 9 p.m. as Mr. Jerome Powell was presenting his comments. Okay, moved up, moved down, went neutral, and then this morning it continues its bullish move. Okay, so yeah, so watch out again for today's market movements. Yeah, currently it looks like again the dollar is weakening, the pound is moving up, and also euro is moving up. However, again, this could be the limits of this morning's session. We will need to see what happens during the UK trading session and also leading up towards the US trading sessions tonight. So yeah, so I hope you guys had a great trading week for the last 4 market days. I hope you guys made a decent profit and have a pleasant weekend ahead. And and I'll see you again next Monday. Thank you. Take care and happy trading. See you. Bye bye.